This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. We're in the tropical Newcastle ahead of Robbie Davis Jr., Lewis Ritson this weekend. With me, Al Siesta. Al, haven't seen you for a while. How you been?
I'm very good, my brother. How are you? You okay? Nice to see you, man. Thank you. Always happy to see you. You're nice and happy face. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Al. I think that's the biggest compliment I've ever been given on camera, possibly the only compliment I've ever been given on camera. I don't think it's been too long since we last spoke to you. You came down and spoke to Rob a couple of weeks ago. What have you been up to? You're always a busy man.
I already forgot what I've been doing because there's so much going on. Flying around the world, trying to match the fights, make some shows, find new fighters, earn some money. That's it. That's what it is. Crazy boxing life.
We're talking about it downstairs. You are one of the busiest people I've ever met in boxing. Does it ever get overwhelming? Do you ever think, I just need to take a step back from this? Or is it just a case of you just love the game too much?
Man, I'm just meditating always. I'm thinking, Al, if you start thinking how busy you are and how stressful it can get, it's just you have to throw a towel. You're all good. You're really good. You're very capable. Everything's okay. You're moving in the right direction. God loves you. That's all. Done. I'm back. I'm meditated now, and I'm ready to work. Again, I'm always happy. No stress. Love my job.
Now, Al, I just wanted to talk about the show you got coming up over in Russia. I believe you had got Troyanovsky on there against Joseph Zaradnik, who's fought Conor Benn. He's fought Jason Easton before on a show that I worked at. Talk to me about that show.
It's a show in St. Petersburg in the Azimuth Hotel, small venue, 900 to 1,000 people venue. I wasn't sure about the venue, so I took my measuring tape, bought the flight, jumped on the plane, flown to St. Petersburg, took some measurements. I'm happy with the venue, measured the height, spoke to lighting people, spoke to the local commission. Everything is good. Tested the chairs, look at the layout, the ring size. Happy. Jump on the plane the same night. Boom, back to Southampton. Perfect. The show is great, I tell you. Edward Troyanovsky fighting Zaradnik for the EBP title, which is Eurasian Boxing Parliament, IBF affiliated organization. Also, there's a WBO Youth Light Heavyweight title fight between Batal Chezhia and Jamal Usmanov, which is Georgian guy fighting against Chechen guy from Ukraine. Bloodbath. I tell you that. They're all young guys. They don't like each other, and it's an old Russian rivalry. So it's a great fight. Then there's another fight, which is Elnur Samedov, the WBA lightweight continental champion. This is TBA at the moment because I haven't found the suitable opponent, but this is the guy who stopped Akshay Nazarian, who is a very, very prolific prospect in Russia, in lightweight. And Fatima Dudiyeva, the Dagestan girl, same as Habib. She's from the same origin. She's ex-MMA girl, doesn't know how to go back. Little vicious thing. She will be fighting for the Bantam WBC Asian title. So that's the main event, and I've got massive undercard. It's about 12 fights. It will be live on Match TV, possibly on one of the Western networks. I will let you know later. It's Thursday night, 14th of November, Azimuth Hotel.
I wanted to ask you about Edward Troyanovsky. I believe he's coming out here this week.
He's on the plane now. He's coming today. He's coming today. He's on the plane now. Eddie's coming here to meet another Eddie. I want Eddies to meet. Yeah.
Is he someone that you're trying to get in the mix? I mean, we've got Lewis Ritson, Robbie Davis Jr. this weekend, a fight a lot of people are excited about, but also next weekend, Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis for the Unified Super Lightweight Championship. Are you looking to try and get him in the mix with maybe even winner or loser of this weekend's fight?
100%. Edward Troyanovsky did fight. He lost narrowly on points to Kirill Relik on World Boxing Super Series. Edward Troyanovsky, officially, as good of a knockout artist and Regis Prograis. If you look at his record, I think on 24 wins, there's a 22 stoppages. Overwhelming knockout ratio. That guy can punch. That guy has one-punch knockout power. So how can we abandon fighter like this? So what? He's 39 years old. He looked like a nice old vintage car that stood in the garage. Absolutely, his skin is perfect. He looks fantastic. He's still in a great shape. And he said, Al, I just want to fight. I said, let's go.
Before we move on to other things, we are in Newcastle for the show this weekend, so I can't not get your thoughts on the main event. Robbie Davis Jr., Lewis Ritson, labelled bad blood due to the ill feeling before the fight was made. It's been a lot more subdued this week. I believe it's a WBA eliminator, not final eliminator, but that does sort of put them in line for that world title shot for the winner. What do you make of this fight?
Fantastic fight. Great matchmaking. Well done matchroom bringing this fight together. Mixed feelings about that fight. My head tells me that Robbie Davis Jr. will prevail. My heart tells me that Lewis Ritson going to win. And you know, and someone once said, he said, I took the staircase from head to my heart, but I never knew that they're so far apart. There's a lyric like this. So, do you understand? This is just a left and right completely. It's crazy. I fancy Lewis Ritson. A little bit. Don't know why. Don't know why. I don't know. Just something about this. I think I've seen something in his last fight that not many people sing. Ritson is different. Ritson is different. In 140, he's different. Everyone's saying he's a little bit robotic, he goes forward, he lost his power and so on and so forth. I saw something about Ritson that fills me with confidence a little bit. I like Robbie Davis Jr. He's a great fighter, lovely guy, and I wish him all the best tomorrow as well. That's it. For fans, for the casual fan, incredible fight.
It's interesting you mentioned you saw something different in Lewis Ritson last time out. It's something that his trainer Neil Fannin mentioned to me earlier in the week, that they've been trying to get away from that robotic style or just trying to walk through people, blast people away, and trying to get back to boxing a bit more. He's been doing a lot of S&C as well, trying to fill out at the weight. Do you think that could play a big part?
Lewis Ritson was a very good amateur. And when you go into the pro games and you start knocking people out, you start believing your own hype and you forget your fundamentals. And when you come to the deep waters, like it happened with Patera, you get confused. You get confused. You start looking for that knockout punch, for that knockout power. And if he should have stuck to his boxing, because he can box. So last time around, when we matched him, where was he fighting last time? Remind me. Lewis Ritson, where was it?
Lewis Ritson
Yeah.
fought on a card headlined by Fowler.
Correct, against
Rose.
Brian Rose, yeah.
Yeah.
Liverpool.
Where was it? No, was it Liverpool?
No, it was in a little. No,
It was a small city. It was a small.
Liverpool. It was in Liverpool.
Oh.
It was in a little.
Oh, it was an exhibition centre.
Yeah, in Liverpool.
Yeah, correct. I saw Ritson different. Head movement, body movement, very placid, very rubber man. Do you know what I mean? That's what I like. That's. I fancy Ritson.
Moving away from this weekend, Al, something I wanted to ask you about. You're always full of interesting thoughts. I wanted to pick your brains on something we talked about downstairs, which is how we change things going forward in the sport of boxing in regards to, you think live scoring's a good idea, you're all for action replays as well in between rounds. Talk to me about those ideas.
Must happen. 90% of controversy in boxing is because of the judging and refereeing. Let me tell you this. You are my fighter. You go through the massive camp for 12 weeks. Don't see your family. Don't see everyone. Training really hard. Like a monk. You live in your life like a monk. All for that moment. And then you get hard done by the referees and judges. How unfair is that? 3 months of your life wasted. Your rankings gone. Your dream shattered, correct? All because people who are making the decision on the outcome of the fight. So therefore, I am a advocate and very passionate about open scoring and instant replay. If it would be up to me, the open scoring would be every round on an electronic screen, so you can see what every judge given and the total. And judges need to be qualified. There's also, if it's a big title fight, need to be 2 TV judges, and accumulated results then given to whoever it is to decide the outcome. It's mathematics, statistics, it's easy. Do you know what I mean? Open scoring all the way. Open scoring all the way. The sport needs to be like refereeing level and all so on and so forth. People need to work on that. My brain is going for some reason because, you know what, as you just asked me, I suddenly realized that I've been interviewed, but at the same time I've drifted somewhere else in my head. I'm spectating my own thoughts. It's crazy, but anyway, okay. So I hope that I'm kind of clear on that. yeah. So that's what it is. Yes, I am really advocating the open scoring and instant replay. Albert, wake up. Yeah. Just gone somewhere, I don't know. Just went to stratosphere and back for some reason. I don't know.
Welcome back to Earth, Al Siesta. Now, Al, something we need to touch on. Tragic news broke last night. Of course, the loss of Patrick Day after the injuries he sustained in Chicago last weekend. You know, there's no words we can say to make it any better or to really do justice how big a catastrophe this is. A big loss to the boxing world, but more importantly, a big loss to his loved ones.
Yeah, it's a massive loss. It's a tragic thing, but I've got like an interesting outcome on that. I mean, outlook on things like that. I've got big faith. I don't want to say that I'm religious, neither do I want to mention my religious beliefs, because it's pointless, because God is one, just different doors. Death is inevitable, and it makes no difference how you died when you're dead. And I do firmly believe in afterlife. I'm not preaching, by the way. Boxing fans are very saying, oh man, look at this dickhead, he's going. No, I just want to say something. Patrick Day died in the holy circumstances of his lifelong career, passion, love. He's like a samurai Japanese warrior, dies on the battlefield. Patrick Day died in the ring. This man goes to paradise. This man. And if that thought makes his loved ones feel a bit easy, because guys, don't get me wrong, don't get comfortable. We're all going one day. So there's no immortality, as far as I know. So the way Patrick went, it's a holy way. But that doesn't mean that as professionals who are still here shouldn't look into the circumstances under which this tragedy happened. I'm talking medicals, MRIs, standards of refereeing, standards of first aid, and there are many other factors. And I'm sure, I don't want to just pump air and be a cliche man. I'm sure the commission's already looking into it. But please, under no circumstances, break our sport, forbid our sport, limit our sport, because the game is beautiful, guys. Let's just set the rules and regulations correctly to support that game, because it's been there for many years, and people been dying, so as in Formula One, skiing and other sports. Let's just try to make it safer and react quicker. And I do believe sometimes you look, and the referee is also a spectator. He's admiring, he look into that referee, almost waiting for that knockout to happen. But man, you need to be quicker. You need to prevent. You prevent from the heavy blow, and the fights are fights again. This is the difference between life and death, you know? So, rest in peace, Patrick Day. My condolences to the family.
I'd just like to second that. Thoughts and prayers with all the loved ones surrounding Patrick Day at this hard time. Moving away from that, Alexander Usyk, we saw him in there with Chaz Witherspoon over the weekend, his long-awaited heavyweight debut. What do you make of what we saw from Usyk? A typical Usyk performance in many ways.
Yeah, typical, like Mongoose Cobra type of thing, you know, just that he grinds you down, he learns about your body language, he sees what you do worse, and he picks it on it. And that's it, that's what it was. It was overwhelming. A bit Lomachenko, do you agree? Man just quit, man just sat down in the corner and thought, why am I here? I'm getting paid, that's enough. That's what it was, that's exactly the thought he had. Didn't want any more beating, and Usyk shone. And I reckon Usyk was about 70% of Usyk anyway. Because he saw he can expose the guy, he can do that kind of damage half-heartedly, and he took it. That's it. Usyk is a real deal. I'm just saying one more time. He is a real deal. Only Andy Ruiz, Deontay Wilder, and Tyson Fury potentially could have struck that guy. I don't know, but Joseph Parker could be a good fight. Joseph Parker. As much as I love Dillian White and all, Derek Chisora and all that, those three, in my opinion, at the moment, the only those who can cause potential problem for Usyk.
Would you agree that out of those, Tyson Fury is probably the hardest fight for Usyk? Of the big boys, so to speak, do you think stylistically he gives Usyk the hardest fight?
Tyson Fury is a mixture between, he's the most horrible fighter to fight. He's like he's a mixture between, like if you will inbreed together cockroaches, octopuses, spiders, worms, all this kind of stuff, and they put it together, and you just like generate some sort of human DNA that grows to 2 meters tall, and then boxes, you get your Tyson Fury. Do you know what I mean? He's the most horrible man, because I spoke to fighters and said, Al, you lose all ideas that you had when you spar Tyson Fury. It's absolutely impossible to spar that guy. It's horrible. Not to mention that the guy got really high ring IQ, high intellect, switches, very comfortable, and unusually quick for his weight. Nightmare. Nightmare. My father reckons that Tyson Fury is an undisputed heavyweight champion, and people like Tyson Fury born every 100 years, if that. And that's my father, who is very critical.
Now, I know you spoke to Rob about Luther Clay's win out in Italy. Very high profile win, did wonders for Luther. I know you guys enjoyed that whole excursion over there. Some big fights on the horizon for Luther, Ral. What sort of guys are you looking at for him coming into next year?
There's a big announcement pending. I'm not allowed to say. I think maybe next week we will announce that fight. Luther will fight in December. He will defend his WBO global title. Luther done fantastically well. Biggest congratulations from me to his trainer. Trainer and Luther got a really funny relationship. He's like a Russian father and black African son. It's just hilarious. You need to see them in the gym. And it's very emotional, passionate. I'm very pleased for my team, for Luther's team, for all of us. And I think bit by bit, easy steps, step by step, we're going to bring Luther to that level when he can really shine. But Conor Ben, as a fight for the next year, is not that far away, I believe.
Another fight I wanted to pick your brains on, Al. Tomorrow evening, Gvozdyk-Beterbiev. Big fight for the light heavyweight division. Absolute sizzler. We'll all be watching. Give me your thoughts on that fight. Can you pick a winner?
I can't pick a winner because my heart, again, brain Gvozdyk, heart Beterbiev. Not because I don't like Gvozdyk. It's just Beterbiev is a hard man. He's a hard man. Trust me, that man can bang. And Gvozdyk sometimes could be inconsistent. If Gvozdyk had really good camp, potentially he can beat Beterbiev. If there's kind of some funny patches in the camp or psychological unpreparedness, then I would fancy Beterbiev doing the job. Fantastic fight. Thank you for reminding me. I'll be watching that. Great fight. Great fight. Absolute 50-50 light heavyweight unification. Yeah.
I know you spoke with Rob about Kovalev-Canelo, so we're not going to touch on that, and we're waiting to see how that all plays out before seeing where he lies in the light heavyweight mix. Someone we did see last weekend was Bivol. Any qualms in seeing him in with the winner of this fight? Is that a fight you'd like to see Bivol in with the winner of what we see tomorrow night?
Yes, I can. You see, good thing about Bivol, he can really box, and he can hold the punch. So to outbox Bivol is quite complex. To stop him is also really hard. So that's why I fancy Bivol actually doing some interesting stuff in the division. And he wasn't that great last week, I thought. He was ordinary in the standards that we used to. It doesn't mean that he's not a good fighter. That could have been one off, bad day in the office. But let's see, he could be fighting those guys. You see, it's all Soviet Union. Kovalev, Bivol, Beterbiev, and Gvozdyk. Soviet Union. We're coming.
You mentioned that you thought Dmitry Bivol looked average last week. He didn't get such a great reception in the arena, and I think consensus was that it was more that he was just coasting. He wasn't really troubled. Do you think we need to see him in with a Beterbiev, a Gvozdyk, to see the best of him in a way?
Definitely, because Lenin Castillo, not being disrespectful, it's really hard to get up for a fight like that. When you look at someone and he's like number 89 or 101 in box rec, and you're a world champion, Dmitry Bivol, you are an incredible Dmitry Bivol, and who you're fighting, I don't know. So that's what it is. And that could be... People get stopped in fights like that, you know? They take it for granted. Very dangerous game to play. Because I believe Bivol, one of those fighters, the harder the opponent, the better he performs.
Just picking that back up, you and I were just discussing there before we were cut off, the Beterbiev-Gvozdyk is not going to be shown by a UK broadcaster this weekend. Are you in disbelief with that, Al?
You absolutely shocked me. Is it serious? Guys, come on. I thought it's only Russians are indifferent to things like that. Apparently Russians didn't pick up Derevanchenko against Golovkin. No, it was really weird. But someone bought it on pay-per-view and they generated 150,000 euros. Honestly. And they paid for the rights, whatever it is. They made a great piece of business. But what I wanted to say, is that not in the UK?
I believe it's available online.
Why? What's going on, guys? Someone goes out with financial problems or something. Why? No one bought it. Are the rights still available? No, we're going to latch on. We're going to look online and stuff. It's a great fight. But I'm very surprised that no UK broadcaster purchased this fight. You know, guys, it's a fireworks. It's a bloodbath. Come on, Eddie. Why didn't you buy it? I can't believe that.
Stick it on IFL.
Yeah. We've got the IFL spice in here. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to bleep out whatever Umar just said in the corner over there. I'm ignoring him. One fight I want to get your thoughts on, Al, before I let you go, because we've been sat here for some time. It's not announced yet, but we're expecting Michael Hunter to face Alexander Povetkin.
Yeah.
I know Michael Hunter is someone you rate very highly, dark horse of the heavyweight division. Give me your thoughts on that fight.
I'm scared for Povetkin because Michael Hunter always somehow prevails. Very tough man, very, very stable psychologically, can really fight, can bang as well. For the cruiserweight, he bangs really hard. The only person that could deal with Michael Hunter, I always said, apart from Usyk, is Myris Bredis. I always said that. Now Bredis, with fixed hands, will deal with Hunter. Otherwise, for any heavyweight, for the sheer Hunter's speed, is really, really hard to deal with Hunter. Povetkin Hunter, 50-50 in my opinion. Yeah, great fight. Great fight.
Appreciate that, Al. I think we're done there. Unless there's anything else you'd like to add, take it away.
No, thank you very much indeed for having me. As usual, biggest pleasure to be interviewed by my favorite network. Yeah, Boxing Social, the people who always gave me chance. They were the first who noticed me. So guys, love you, and all the viewers and all the listeners, guys, enjoy yourself. Life's too short to think about stuff. Love you.